Welcome back to Not Famous in a Small Town. This is episode
3.
Trace. If you are from a small town, if
You've heard of a small town?
your parents once knew a small town, your ancestors settled one,
They hailed from one,
from henceforth,
and hereforth.
if they drove through one, this is for you.
Welcome to Not
Famous
in a Small Town. I'm Sarah.
I'm April.
Let's get into it.
Let's kick it off with a game of word association. We are each in our own brains going to think of a word. We've not rehearsed this. And the goal is to sync our brains into the same final word. So we'll get closer and closer. 1, 2, 3,
Night.
bovine. 1, 2, 3,
Servine.
accident. 1, 2, 3, report. 1, 2, 3, venison.
Insurance.
I went with yours, you went with mine. Okay. Insurance and venison. 1, 2, 3, car.
Report.
1, 2, 3.
Night.
You can't keep saying the same words.
Did I?
Yeah, I
Oh,
said
shoot.
report. You already said night.
Okay.
I also should say a word. Okay, report. 1, 2, 3, essay.
Pen.
1, 2, 3, school.
Paper. I don't think we're gonna get there.
Paper in school. Okay. 1, 2, 3,
Teacher.
Notebook. We'll get it now.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, Angela.
Angela.
Teacher. She's a teacher.
She is.
Okay, so clearly we're really in sync.
Yeah.
And
I don't think we're gonna get there.
I hope that's not a foreshadowing of how the episode will go. First things first, today I went to a new hardware store because I was going through a different town. I walked in, still an Ace Hardware, so I have expectations. 2 teenagers were working. So then imagine my surprise when I'm like, on my little list, usually my procedure is to walk in, smile, look a little lost. Our Ace Hardware is kind of like the place where retirees go to work.
Yeah, and they know everything.
They know everything. It's like the step before the seniors home.
Yeah, it's a prerequisite to get into the nursing home, retirement home.
So it's just a lovely experience. You walk in, how's the family? Oh, hey, Mr. So-and-so, saw your daughter. Yep, the grandkids are doing good. What can I help you find? And I'll describe, okay, I'm doing this project. I need a bolt that's kind of like the one that's twisted. I got it.
We got you.
So I walk into teenagers and they're super friendly, but I'm like, oh. I'm looking for some particular things, expecting a grandpa to come out from the back. And she was very competent. She helped me find everything I needed.
The teenager did?
Yeah.
She found the right aisle and everything?
Yep, showed me right where. And then I was like, well, she's a little stupid girl. I'm not going to ask her a follow-up question, but I did have to. And she was like, oh, you're going to want to go here. I'm like, thanks.
Perfect.
Great.
Did you grab some popcorn on the way out?
That they didn't have popcorn.
Ooh.
Big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Big deal breaker.
Well, I'm glad you found what you needed with the help of our youth.
Our youth. It does give us hope in the youth.
I hope so, because I'm in fear.
Yeah.
We can talk about that another time.
Any good things happened the past week, 2, 3?
Yes. My first things first is our family grew by 1, and you already saw him. The little critter snooping around is the new member of the household.
Yeah, our first podcast guest.
It's our first guest, and he has a mind of his own. So
yeah, it's been 4 days.
About 4 days.
Yeah. Initially, Sarah sent me a picture from the rescue of this little canine, and it was not a flattering photo.
And I knew when I sent you the picture that you were gonna be like, ew.
You're like, yeah, so I'm gonna message them about this guy. And I was like,
Ugh.
oh, please don't.
Don't take that thing home. And guess what?
He's cute.
He's here. So if you see him throughout the episode, yeah.
He
Yeah.
who shall not be named.
Yeah.
What about Voldemort for a name? His photo on the tip of your
Voldemort?
tongue.
Yeah, it's very, Voldy.
Mort. Mordecai. Mordecai.
Mortician.
Oh, segue
Yeah.
into
Segue into our topic of conversation here. We were going to talk a little bit about, well, first things first, again, I was scrolling through the obituaries as I do, and I came upon one and I was kind of bummed out. I'm like, oh no, she passed away, like bummer.
yeah.
She's got this big farm. Her husband passed away a few years ago, and what's the family going to do with all this land? And so yeah, I was on that, which led me then to thinking about funerals, since we have been to a few funerals recently. But obituaries and funerals, we could talk about.
And like, what are things? There's something we do want to hear from the listeners, viewers like you. Thank you. Like things you love in a funeral. I love singing, like in the church, to sing the songs. Bright lights, a well lit space, big for me. I don't love an open casket. My preference.
Yeah.
You?
I don't mind it either way. Personally, if I'm going to a funeral, I don't mind if it's an open casket. It doesn't bother me. However, if it were me, I don't know that I would like to have an open casket, regardless of the circumstances.
Yeah, what do you want?
Just like open house style. There can
Pulled
be
pork.
Pulled pork. No, just a ham and cheese sandwich.
But open house style to me, I was thinking open house. Like what's
open house? Like what food?
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. You did not appreciate that. Ham and cheese buns.
Yeah. Coffee.
Open, come in, visit. Should your husband and I be standing together?
Ooh, yes. Yeah, my husband and my wife.
In front, us together.
Yeah.
And maybe the rest of your family.
Yeah. I think that would be my ideal, obviously. Right. And I would like my personal playlist from my Spotify to be played throughout.
Oh, that would be interesting.
Yeah.
I think that should be like a universal funeral thing.
I agree.
That would be very,
I think that would be
roller
great.
Coaster of emotions
for
your
yeah, you guys would be going peaks and valleys, we'll tell you that.
Yeah, no kidding.
So I would like that. And yes, I would like an official service, I think, but short.
Yes.
Very short. And I think if I had to do a burial, I would prefer it to like just my family.
Wait, what do you mean if you had to do a burial?
Like if I was being there's a service in the church.
Yeah.
Or open house, kind of all that. If it came to the actual burial, I don't know that I'd want so many people all standing around while being lowered down to the ground.
Okay, great.
Which
you do.
Yeah, I want to be buried.
Okay.
In a casket, closed.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how nice it is. Maybe a wooden casket.
Yeah.
Of the earth.
My grandpa always said he wanted to make his casket, but
I've seen people do that
process. Then.
Well, we're also not carpenters.
Yeah. I've heard it's a complicated, like a lot of regulations.
I actually did see a TikTok of this guy who was only like in his 50s that had made his casket just for whenever.
Oh, just to be ready.
Yeah, and it was beautiful.
Heck of a thing to store.
Yeah, just so his family, he had his own wood shop, so it's no problem.
I could imagine using inside the casket to sort it. Oh, can you go get the 2x4? It's in my casket on the north wall. Wouldn't that be funny? Oh yeah, Dad's casket.
Oh, yeah, Dad's casket. Yeah.
Oh no, we're gonna have to clean out Dad's
Well, actually,
casket. What are
funny
we gonna
enough,
do with all that stuff?
thinking about Facebook Marketplace, one of our
Oh.
friends sent me a picture of someone just selling their casket in the front yard in Rensselaer. It was a literal
What color
local
casket?
listing. It was like a blue silver for sale right in front of it.
Oh, I love that. How much?
I think you had to call to inquire, DM to inquire.
I'm just imagining like them advertising, like, how could we market this casket? Someone's gonna buy it. Like, great for storage.
Or
Fits a
a
man of
real steel. Fits a man of large stature.
don't sleep on this.
Don't
Sleep
sleep
in
on
it.
this
Don't sleep
steel.
on this deal. Sleep
Sleep
in
in
it.
it.
Weighted for 300 pounds and
I think that we have a future here.
I didn't know someone sold their casket. I really like that.
Yeah.
I don't want my body. I care so little about that part.
Yeah.
So burn it, put it in a tree,
Do what you will.
whatever. Yeah, send it to a hospital.
You want to be.
I mean, like to let because people have to practice
Well, I know. So
stitch it.
are you saying that you're open to donating your body to science?
Oh, 100%.
Well, there you have it.
Yeah.
Actually, I think it would be good to have your brain studied as well as mine. There's something.
It might be something I don't want them to look at my brain though. I would want to donate every itty bit of me. Like take my eyeballs, take my skin,
Okay.
put the lotion on.
Put the lotion on the skin. Yeah.
Our drink of the night is a hot toddy.
Hot toddy.
Hot toddy is comprised of mostly water, a little lemon juice, a little whiskey, touch of honey. We have spun honey imported from the Canada. It's good. Not going to win any awards.
I would say it would get for me a 6.
Yeah.
And
I
it's a
think
solid 6.
it's not a loser,
Mm-mm.
but I wouldn't be pleased if I paid for this in a restaurant.
No, but it should be an option in a restaurant.
Actually, there is a restaurant that my sister and brother-in-law love to get a hot toddy at. Sit outside by the fires.
I think more restaurants should offer hot, like besides coffee,
yeah, like a warm.
Yeah, like
that's what
cozy hot drinks.
That's what could put it a 7 for me. Is just that it's cozy, the
Mhm.
mood which it's fitting for me.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Okay,
solid 6.
Did you watch this week? I already know you did. On Netflix,
Immediately.
The Perfect Neighbor.
Immediately. Immediately.
Okay.
Because I saw, and I don't know where, obviously online somewhere, the trailer started to kind of come out, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I am so excited for this.
Yes.
Which I haven't been excited for a show in a long time. So I was more curious to see if you were going to watch it.
I did, yes. So you all must watch it on the Netflix.
Yeah.
Get a subscription for 1 month. Just watch some things on Netflix, cancel your subscription.
Yeah. It should be watched. It should be noted it's all body cam.
Yeah,
or
so it's
majority is
not
body
like
cam.
not dramatized, which I like that. At the end, it's kind of like, I think near the end of this case, they started to realize like this could be a good
Mm-hmm.
movie situation, and then, or maybe it's just that they got news, but there was a bit more like intentional TV near the end of the movie.
Yeah, and I think they actually did a really good job. Sometimes I'm like, oh, like this feels very to the right, this feels very to the left, this feels very like too
Yeah.
too much one way or the
Polarized.
other. Yeah, and this felt a little bit more honest.
It really did, because it was a couple of years, right, of the body cam.
Mm-hmm. I think everything started after COVID, though. I can't remember the exact years, but I think it was.
So, can you give like a quick synopsis?
Without giving anything away to anyone that hasn't watched it, you start in a neighborhood, and I think that's majority of just
Renters.
calls about people. It's a neighborhood, yeah, like all rental property. So like there's landlords, etc. But it's a pretty diverse community, very diverse neighborhood, and it involves children and parents and neighbors and law enforcement, and very interesting, like what happened in this certain neighborhood and the perfect neighbor.
There's so much to unpack about it. Maybe because I'm like interested in the law enforcement world, which shout out National First Responder Day.
Happy National First Responder Day. You guys are heroes. We love you.
Thank you to the responders of the first.
Yep.
Yeah. So I feel like my brain kind of understands a lot of like how a dispatcher answers things, how dispatcher responds, pretty well how a road officer goes in response to a call, which you saw quite a bit of the road officer side.
Yeah.
When I was seeing this, it's like call after call of these neighbors calling to complain about each other, basically. So my thought is, people hate this neighborhood. Like, the officers don't want to respond. Probably like a neighborhood where whenever someone call comes in, they're like, this house again. Which you got that idea. What I would love is to talk to a detective and maybe like a lawyer or someone else as the case progressed. What do you think, like, was the response appropriate from the police officer, those specific officers, or like how would you conduct that interview?
I agree, because I think my tactics as a detective working in this specific case, my tactics would have been a bit different than the tactics used.
Yeah.
So that was interesting.
Because they just kind of laid everything out. There were some shocks to me.
There was some shocks, and I felt a lot of different emotions throughout the entire thing.
Yeah. Should we just say
no?
Can I say 2 words?
Use your discretion. Yes.
2 minutes.
2 minutes. Okay, I'm glad you said that.
Because that was wow.
Everything changed within 2 minutes.
Yeah. It was that was remarkable, and I feel like if you know us in a small town, let's have a coffee date and discuss it, because it really was something.
It was a ride.
A ride and a half.
Everyone can agree on that. Even our producer can agree on that.
Okay, can we call him a producer? Phone a friend. Is someone less involved in like the world of first responders? Did you find the body camera, like that footage style, uninteresting? Did it lose you?
No, not at all.
So it's not that, oh, April and Sarah are nerds and they like that. It worked for them. No, right. It worked for people.
It did. And we are nerds, yes, but this a broader audience, I think, can appreciate this and follow along.
Speaking of being a nerd, Sarah,
I filled out a public information release for a specific case that happened within our area.
It does come with a disclaimer that it is heavy content. It is real life concerning child abuse, but that's not the goal. That's not the focus of our study, of our case study, if you will. The focus is more. But if you're feeling uncomfortable with that, please skip. There's no problem.
Yep. Skip and catch us on the next episode. We'll discuss something else pretty good.
So, starting with case number
82-1540. So, in summary, my full case, I requested a public information report. I submitted this request and was able to receive all the information. And what was sent to me was about 93 pages of information regarding a child abuse case. In summary, and in reality, there were reports of child abuse occurring with a Lucy and Larry Lonadier and their 3-year-old Bradley Lonadier and their infant daughter, Kristen Lonadier. So throughout the report, there have been different claims and concerns submitted to a welfare, kind of like Child Protective Services, but at the time it was like the welfare department. Different complaints submitted to the welfare department over time, and then officially a report that began on July 14th, 1982. The majority of the case report includes witness statements about what these various people had witnessed or seen concerning the 3-year-old and different sorts of punishment that he sustained or different sorts of punishment that he was given from his parents, both mother and father. To go over it, again, it is sensitive, but the 3-year-old did sustain many, many beatings, mainly to his buttocks, his back, and his legs. There also was report of a neighbor witnessing his mouth being taped shut from his mother because he was crying or had been sort of being bad. And sadly, some of the concerns also spanned to the baby, possibly like 9 months old, possibly starting beginning of 2 weeks old through her life. But different sorts of things that had happened and were reported. So eventually, all these statements came into account and were written down July 14th, 1982, in which Deputy Kane started his report.
But before the report, there was any conclusion from law enforcement or that welfare department.
It doesn't seem
Bradley was taken to the hospital in a comatose state and succumbed to his injuries that had occurred at home with his parents.
Yes. So all these sort of reports had come in through different month span, officially ending with 3-year-old Bradley Lonadier in a comatose state, brought in by his father. His father had said that they were roughhousing and he suddenly became unconscious, which we know is not true. This child had been beaten many times and eventually sustained a head injury that he would not be able to come back from. He was then transferred to a specialty children's hospital in Chicago. I believe maybe stabilized. I'm not sure because they ended up transferring him back to the original facility, a lower level hospital where he did pass away, sadly. Once Larry brought the child in and the hospital had suspicion of abuse, I think that the sheriff's department had enough to go then and arrest Larry and Lucy Lonadier, the parents of Bradley. And oddly, when they were booking in Bradley's mother, Lucy, they did her essentially her shakedown, checking her clothes and her belongings, and she had with her a Bible. And the jailer thoroughly went through the Bible, and either a note fell out from her Bible or her purse, but it said in quotes on it, "Pull down the shades, close the windows, turn up the music, and whip the boy if he misbehaved." And yeah, it's really creepy.
Is that the one that they were saying they were going to analyze the handwriting?
Yeah, they were going to analyze the handwriting of this note to see who it belonged to. Did Lucy, the mother, write this?
In the timeline, when the parents were arrested from the hospital, at that time, the welfare department did remove the daughter, the baby,
Yes.
who's like maybe just over 1 year old by this point.
Mm-hmm.
And she was placed in foster care, adopted. So that's kind of like the thing that is the most, whoa, what happened here? A 3-year-old dies, like people are going to have attention.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to draw attention. But then what kept my attention is the police response, the welfare response, and the other factors in the home that I believe and the judge heavily contributed to this abuse. So the parents, like, I did a lot of like, so you got that police report. I was reading all the news articles, talking to, because this happened in 1982. Like, I did know of this case, but I didn't know the extent of it or
The specifics,
the location, because like our families knew the Larry and Lucy Lonadier, still do know them. So it happened that they started to leave the church they were attending and told their friends, oh, we're going to have a home church, which was led by a man named Stephen Jackson. They called it a commune. They called it the Covenant Christian Fellowship and a commune. At one point, they said there were up to 17 people living in this regular family home.
Just a bi-level.
Yeah.
A bi-level house.
Like you walk in and can go up or down. And Stephen Jackson told the parents, like, if you want to be good parents, you want to raise your little kids the right way, then there was one quote I read that, like, ugh. He told them, well, it's better to hurt the butt than hurt the soul. Like, spank him now because you're gonna break his will, his bad will. You have to break his will. And I, like, one of the witnesses described the mom's, like, the way she acted as hypnotized. And I fully believe, like, they were
well, there has to be
brainwashed.
There has to be
the parents were.
There has to be something there, because in what world are you harming your children to the point where they're unconscious or they're just beaten so badly? But it comes down to the fact that these parents were being heavily influenced by their pastor, their leader. They called him the leader, Steve Jackson, who said essentially, you know, you have to beat or like discipline them, get the devil out of them so that they will be submissive children, and you know, good disciplined children have the devil beat out of them.
Yeah. Like if they cry,
they're cried, if they're disobedient, they're.
So that was interesting. One thing, when after he died in the hospital, immediately the parents were then arrested. Like,
they were already in jail when they were notified that he had been.
Oh yeah.
They took the parents into custody
once he was in the hospital.
Once he went to the hospital. I think that they had already enough at that point.
Yeah.
Which again, they had applied for going back.
So should I go through timeline now?
Yeah.
Okay, so like multiple reports had gone to this welfare department, which we don't have those records. But for sure they mentioned in there like a February welfare visit and another time. Then this was July 14 was his case, when there's 7 written witness statements. So I'm guessing he got some report, and then that person said, so and so will talk, so and so, so and so. So they compiled all that. That sparked the welfare department to say, okay, we need to go check on these children, take an officer with us. They went to the door. Larry said, no, you will not come into our house without a warrant.
Larry, the father of the 3-year-old.
Yeah, which is his rights. They went back to start a warrant with showing all this, which also then the welfare department, part of their warrant was to say these children need to be removed from the home. That child removal court date was set for August 10, which Bradley did not make to.
No, Bradley died like August 5th or 6th.
Yeah.
5th or 6th.
Yeah.
Or 4 short days before the the appointment to have the children actually removed from the home.
So there's a whole conversation about, do you think like the abuse at home, like were the parents starting to feel a loss of control, or was Steven Jackson starting to feel a loss of control, like knowing these kids are going to be removed from the house, from the commune, which I'm leading, the police are going to become more aware. Do you think he was egging the parents on more to pushing them further
Mm.
because they were feeling a loss of control and in desperation, like that was what he could control? Or do you think like this was going to happen to Bradley no matter what? But it's like the week before the court date is what gets me.
Well,
5 days.
yeah, what gets me is that there had been so many different dates way before July and August that people had showed concern for the level of beating that the child had received. So
Right.
to me, it felt like someone dropped the ball somewhere. And who did that fall on? Was it the people who reported it? Was it the welfare department?
And like, was the officer when he went there and the dad said, come back with a warrant? Like, I guess I don't know. In my mind, I'm like, if it's that, you have this many statement from grandparents and neighbors and people who lived in the house and people who stopped by the house. You have that much. Couldn't, how could the court, like, is the system just screwed that there was no way they could have helped this family? I, I don't know.
I think it. I think it.
Or
It
did
looks
someone,
like it always has been flawed
yeah.
in a way because this felt very preventable. But the peculiar thing, I guess, that caught our attention is that these parents were being told what to do by the leader of their commune. It wasn't discipline that the parents had mutually decided would be appropriate for their child. It was what they were being told to do.
He told them what to do, when to breastfeed, like what was a punishable offense and to what extent it should be punished.
Right. Which were all of varying degree, but he was the one that made these rules.
Even, I just thought of this, the neighbor who they had play dates, the sons had play dates, Steven told the mom, okay, keep doing those play dates. Like, master manipulator, which is clear. Like the sentencing, the parents were each given 10 years, but 7 years suspended with good behavior. So, anyway, Steven Jackson was given 20 years and nothing about good behavior, anything suspended. So, that I'm like, okay, well, I guess the justice system, a little late, too little, too late, but at least they did notice
that it was the leader that was really the one that, I mean, it's sad because it's the parents that were carrying these things out, but I read also there were occasions where Steve Jackson was also um, beating the child.
Yeah.
But
yes.
It's interesting looking at this because I don't know if there are other children in the commune. That's something I was like confused about, and there must not have been because I would imagine there'd be more reports
Right.
of what was going on in the
something
home.
more would have happened. Because it said there were at one point up to 17 people living there, but we know at least two of them were Larry's brother and sister-in-law, who they were there from like November to January. And then they said, no, we need to get out of here because it's a bad scenario. And they, I think, like had very good written, like very factual statements about what they saw occur.
Right. And there were several friends of Lucy Lonadier who had expressed concerns about the commune and the leader, and they're deviating from, organized church, basically.
Yeah. Okay, so this was really interesting as we're researching it. Now this case has been like cited in a number of different like textbooks, articles about cult behavior and like the impact of cults on families and children. So in this ultra fundamentalist sects and child abuse article by Lowell Stryker, it just kind of went through. It was talking about all these different like cult type communities across the US. And the one about them says Larry and Lucy Lonity are members of a 7-member adult religious commune located in their home in Indiana. They pleaded guilty. Uh, but I wonder how Steven Jackson pled, because we have nothing about
No,
him.
even in these reports, it's again, this is from like the sheriff's department, not the welfare department, but it was hard to kind of pick that up about the Steven Jackson.
Right.
But he was the one with all the power, essentially, was completely telling these people what they could or couldn't do it with their children or with each other.
So it is clear by the sentencing that Steven Jackson was, by the judicial system, more to blame for the death of Bradley. What is wild to me, I don't know if some of that was redacted, but like based on reading that, we get nothing of Steven Jackson.
Right.
Like,
This is all just accounts of the parents and whatever the witnesses had
yeah,
brought forward.
we cannot fight. We don't have his birthday. We know from a witness, maybe he's from always a Florida man.
And I think like an approximate age,
Yeah.
I think we had, which he was young, I want to say like late 20s, early 30s.
Yeah. I think like somewhere in there they said 25. Per my estimation, he should be like 68 now.
Right.
So then I was looking deeply to find like where is Steven Jackson, because you can like search. But that's also common name. Like there are a zillion 68-year-old-ish Steven Jacksons.
And I highly doubt he's been very public about what happened.
Totally. But
here.
There's one that kind of like gave me the chills. Maybe we should link the website. I don't know, but it's like StevenJacksonMinistries.com or something. And it's like, oh, I'm starting this ministry, and this is how my wife and I, like their YouTube videos of like very problematic, like prosperity gospel of like, if you have bills, bring them to God. God will pay your bills. These are videos of my wife and I healing people. And if you just believe, then the Holy Spirit. Yes, you should believe. Yes, the Holy Spirit can work miracles. No, you can't just burn up your bills.
Yeah. There's some wild stuff.
But he was so wild, and Steven Jackson, that I'm like, what if this is that guy who's now like starting, like, he's charismatic, people follow him, he tells people what to do, people like someone giving direction. What else is he doing?
I don't want to know. I mean, I want to know. I want to find this guy, but also I do not. I don't want to even know anymore because it just creeps me out that he's out. You know, I don't like that people like this, and sadly it's a lot of cases, but they're just released back into general population and you know.
I would say like they should have more than sex offenders who like have to register. I would want like manipulative cult leaders like should register.
Yeah. Yeah. And what is a cult too, you know, like
commune leaders.
Commune leaders, Steven Jackson, ex-cult member.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was a very interesting case, but more interesting that it went from like child abuse to like, okay, there was much more going on than just this. Like someone was behind this, and it was the leader essentially saying, drink my Kool-Aid and everything will be better.
But eventually, like, this is also the wild, God is working through this, that the parents like came out of jail, stayed married, like went through presumably very intense counseling to figure out like how they had been taken over their brains. But they, like, as adults, I think that they were able to rekindle with that daughter. Like,
yeah,
and I don't know what their relationship is, but I know like they did meet her again. They've And that's amazing.
yeah, I don't know how I feel about it.
Okay, why?
It's just such a heavy thing that a child died and then they were given the opportunity after they were released to, I don't know,
They didn't. I think once she was an adult.
made the decision.
Yeah. Like they
Yeah.
had no I don't believe they were able to find her because even when I was a foster parent, like it was amazing that they even knew me. That's not normal.
Yeah.
So it wasn't when she was still vulnerable, it was when she was able to make her own decision and they said, hey, like, here we are. Because I was thinking that, like, oh, where is she? Who is she? And then there's like through Indiana State Department, super easy to find. Not for me, but if you said, oh, I'd like to find my real parents.
Yeah. I could get on there and find them.
Yeah.
Much easier, yeah, maybe for
you
the
fill
child.
out a form, send it in, and then they'll respond. But there was like the stipulations, like you have to be this age in la 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 to send that in. I think everyone has the right to know their parents if they choose to.
Yeah. I agree with that. I think I felt more just like the ick of the parents getting out of jail and integrating back into society. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I certainly have feelings about Steven Jackson being integrated back into society. Yeah. So, but that's, I guess, how cults operate, and that's how their leaders operate. You know, they just
I wonder, like,
will always be
is
that
there
way.
ever like redemption for him? Boy, that would be really hard for me to like be in church with someone who's like, God worked a miracle in my life, and I used to lead a commune, and now I have changed my life.
Who
Not
think?
famous in a small town has turned to True Crimes of Indiana.
Yeah. This is our first one.
Change the trademark paperwork.
Yeah, we're gonna have to change our trademark. No.
Yeah.
Nope.
So I loved going through this, looking at it like with fresh eyes, figure it out. I still want to go through this and The Perfect Neighbor with a detective.
Yeah.
Like, does this make sense? One thing doesn't make sense, that hospital thing.
Yeah, I highlighted that, and I don't understand how the child went into.
They started at like
St.
a
Anthony's
fully
Hospital.
equipped rural hospital.
Yeah, a rural hospital. It's a pediatric case. Not only that, it's a 3-year-old, so like a baby essentially, unconscious, had all these, different types of brain injury, transferred to specialty hospital in Chicago. How did he end up being transferred back to St. Anthony's where he then passed away? That doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah. So that's what I want answers on. That's a big
question. Where is Steve Jackson is a big question. And could the police have done this? Could the children have been removed sooner?
Right. Whether that be by police or the welfare department, family even. Like, yeah. I don't know. I feel like it could have been prevented based on the information I see. However, that's not what happened.
Right. So, and we obviously don't have all the info. I mean, you got 93 pages, but there's no way that's all. Shall we talk about our childhood's show and tell?
Yeah, let's switch gears a little bit, because we're not going to end on that note.
No.
Talking about show and tell.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got to substitute teach, and it's just like as soon as one kid gets the opportunity to speak, which I think is a really healthy experience, like kid, like overcome stage fright. Tell us about your doodly dee that you brought from home. As soon, especially the lower grades, as one kid gets to talk, and I'm captivated by them, ask follow-up questions, every single young child. Oh, Miss April, and did you know that I also have a teddy bear at home?
You're like, yeah, I don't need everybody's
sweet angels.
I don't need everybody's input. I just want to hear about Billy's trinket for a little while.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to tell you about my thing that I brought in, which is like absolutely ludicrous. I don't know how I obtained these. I don't know why I wanted to do this and why my mother let me. But in 3rd grade, I brought in a little jar, and inside of the jar were all these little pieces of hardware, like screws and like little pins. What were they, you ask?
Yeah.
They were all different pieces of hardware that were in my grandfather's spine that were removed during a surgery.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know.
I want to talk to your third grade teacher.
I know. But yeah, all these like little pieces of like different surgical screws and all kinds of things that had been removed during like some sort of a spinal revision he requested to keep. So he had them in a little jar, and I just thought that was crazy, and I wanted to bring them to show everyone.
I'm actually imagining that your mom was kind of proud of like, oh, you guys know what Sarah's bringing to show and Sarah, tell so and so what you're bringing to show and tell tomorrow.
I mean, everyone else had like brought in, yeah, like a teddy bear, a truck, maybe a pet. You know, that was pretty.
Sarah brought in her grandfather's medical hardware.
Yeah.
So, but you know what though?
It's cool.
It's cool, and I bet they had the right bolts, and I bet it wasn't a little teenage girl who told them where to find them.
No.
Grandpa's.
Yeah.
I don't. I think there's one girl I know who like brought her grandma lives like travels a lot, so she brought her grandma in for show and tell. I don't think that I ever had surely nothing that cool. My mom did bring in, we had an old slide projector, and she had the pictures of one book that she loved to read, so she came and read us a book once for my show and tell with the slide. And I'd love to go back to that. Like, I don't want to look at your Instagram pictures from your vacation, but I'd like to sit cozy on the couch, give you my full attention while you click through. Yeah.
Well, we can make it happen.
On episode 1, we printed digital photos. On episode 3, we're looking into the reintroduction of a slide projector.
Yeah. And that's where we're at. All right. So all this being said, I want to thank you guys. Those of you who were able to stick with us, thank you. Thank you for your grace. Thank you for sticking by and hearing us out. We are interested in feedback. We'd love to know if you guys have any comments or questions.
What do you want to see?
Yeah, if you want to see something else in the future, or a deep dive on something, or maybe what you've brought in for show and tell yourselves.
I'd like to see your grandpa's back hardware.
No, I don't know if I can find that.
Yeah. Tell us what you brought for show and tell. Tell us what you think about the police. Well, actually, we don't want to hear that.
April! Okay, I'm going to shut you down right now. Thank you guys for sticking by. If you have anything you'd like us to talk about, let us know. Tell us what you brought in for show and tell.
We are
not famous in a small town.